Friends, my name is Councillor Martin Abrams. I'm Councillor for Streatham St Leonard's Ward and also one of the 4 Lambeth Labour councillors to have broken the Labour Party whip and voted for a full and immediate ceasefire in Gaza at the January Lambeth Full Council meeting. So we were instructed by Lambeth leadership to vote against the motion calling for a ceasefire, and following that vote I was subjected to disciplinary action and subsequently suspended from the Lambeth Labour group indefinitely. And as someone who has been in the Labour Party, you know, not always a member, but someone who has been around the Labour Party pretty much my whole life. My parents are very active in the Labour Party, and you know, best part of 20 years membership. This was quite personally painful for me, but it wasn't a difficult decision. You know, our borough of Lambeth has a long and rich history and tradition of standing up for the oppressed and against the oppressor. And friends, that tradition, as we gather in Windrush Square, could not be more important today. After we stand here, after 6 long months, we see a genocide carried out by Israel literally live streamed to us with daily, hourly, unfathomable horrors. And let's be clear about what's happening here, friends. We are witnessing one of the greatest crimes of our age being facilitated and supported by almost every Western political leader. And we must not rest until every single person responsible for this genocide, every single political leader who has facilitated Israel's war crimes, who has prevaricated, who has given them the green light, we will not rest until they are brought to justice. We will not forget these politicians. We will not forgive these politicians. And it is incumbent on us. Friends, I'm proud of my Jewish background. My great-grandparents were driven from Eastern Europe in the pogroms of Kiev, and I was brought up you know, by my grandparents and my parents to always stand up against oppression. And it is exactly that history of persecution of my ancestors in Europe over the ages that when I say never again, I mean never again for everybody. And shockingly, you know, we have seen a huge rise in racism in this country over recent months, you know, with spikes in anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. But friends, the fight against Islamophobia and the fight against anti-Semitism is the same fight. A synagogue being vandalised is no different to a mosque being vandalised. A Jewish person being abused is no different to a Muslim person being abused. We must be consistent in our principles, and we must call out racism in whatever form, wherever it takes place. And for me, as a parent, you know, what makes this war in Gaza most horrifying for me as a dad to 2 young boys is that this is essentially a war on children. You know, we've seen it. 40% of Gaza's population is 14 years old or younger, and the territory's median age is just 18. And, you know, my kids are my absolute world. I'm absolutely knackered after just spending a week looking after them for the Easter holidays. You know, they've kind of systematically broken me. But what a pleasure it is to spend time with my children when so many parents over in Gaza are suffering so much pain, trauma, suffering and loss, with 15,000 young souls with all their hopes and dreams wiped out. And, you know, every single one of those children is an entire world for at least someone. And every day without a ceasefire is another day of terror, brutality and death. And, you know, today I want to honour the bravery and resilience of the Palestinian people in Gaza. After 6 months of the most unimaginable bloodshed, death and destruction, the Palestinian people are still standing. And we heard from Faraz, you know, how resilient these people are. And I think it's incumbent on us after 6 months to really recognise that. And, you know, some people have called me brave for breaking the whip, but that was not bravery. Bravery, as we've heard, is the Palestinian journalists who have risked life and limb to bring us the images and bring us the news and to document the genocide that is taking place. Bravery is all the health workers and paramedics that have worked through bombardments of the hospitals in Gaza, you know, from the Red Crescent. Bravery is people like Yusuf Al-Zino and Ahmed Al-Madoun, who selflessly went to try and rescue 6-year-old Hind Rajav. That is bravery, and we must recognise that, and we must never forget these heroic, brave people. But my final message to you is, as we gather in Windrush Square, is that we should keep coming together. It is so important. We should keep marching. We should keep boycotting, keep campaigning, keep occupying, keep blockading the weapons manufacturers, keep piling pressure on politicians, because we are the majority. We stand on the side of humanity, and we stand on the right side of history. Solidarity, comrades. Solidarity. Thank you.